Greetings, greetings. Welcome to another Staggered Mayhem showcase. Today we have two runners, Papa Schmo and Kev Nastics. They will be running the DPRK category, sometimes known by a different name. The letters DPRK, of course, refer to the boss order. Dragon first, and then Fantoon, and then Ridley, and finally Kraid. Kraid is normally the first boss you would fight if you have never played this game before. And it's the last in this category. This is almost like a mini RBO, except that when you go down into lower Norfair, you're going to have your gravity suit, which is going to provide some protection. It's not a full RBO. I've done commentary for an RBO before, and that was painful. Hopefully this will be a lot less painful, and runners will have a lot of good luck. Looks like both of the runners are ready. The race is going to begin very, very soon now. Looks like the offset between these two runners is about 3 minutes, just a hair over 3 minutes. So this is going to be a very tight race. Hopefully they will both be reaching Mother Brain around the same time. The goal, of course, behind the Staggered Mayhem Showcase is to have all of the runners on screen with Mother Brain at the exact same time. And it's really exciting because then you don't know, okay, who's going to take some risks that you wouldn't normally take. Our first runner is off. Papa Schmo has started in Ceres Station. That's the blue space station that you see on your screen. Notice that things are awfully quiet, but things are going to start warming up very soon. We see our first scene here with the dead scientists, and we get a feel that something's not quite right here. And then, what is this? It's a little cute baby Metroid, followed by big scary space dragon, sometimes called a space pelican. His name is Ridley, and he's going to take the baby Metroid away. Papa Schmo's damaging down. That's the faster way to get rid of Ridley rather than firing, I forget exactly how many shots. We will see Ridley again, first on Kev Nastic's screen and then later down at Lower Norfair. And Papa Schmo is off at the Ceres escape. The timer is running, the self-destruct sequence has started. Any guesses as to what the time is going to be at the point at which Papa Schmo reaches the elevator? Let's find out. 46:45:02. Very respectable time. And we see Ceres Station exploding and Samus's ship flying off. My son calls this a happy ship because it's smiling. Look at the green smile on the face of the ship when it lands on planet Zebes. The ship is landing, and here we go. Back around the back of the planet and down, 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 down. And here we go. Papa Schmo is going to be going to get the Morph Ball, also known as the Mario Marie, if you ever played the NES version of the game and actually bothered to read the manual, which you may or may not have, because not all of us had manuals if you rented it from Blockbuster or National Home Video or Hollywood Video, wherever you rented your NES games back in the day. They didn't always come with manuals. And that will allow Samus to turn into a little ball and get through tight corners that you wouldn't normally be able to get through if you're a normal human. Samus is not a normal human. She is an incredible, incredible bounty hunter. Looks like Kev Nastics is about to be starting shortly. Getting those cold hands warmed up, ready to start in Ceres Station as Papa Schmo heads down the elevator to grab the morphing ball. Jumping over this barrier here, because you can't get under it until you have the morphing ball, and then could go over it, could go under it. Let's find out. Under to go get the alpha missiles. And Kev Nastics is off. Kev Nastics will also be fighting or damaging down at the Space Pelican, and we'll see what Time is on Kivnasic's screen when he reaches the elevator. Papa Schmo going for that first mockball of the game under the barrier there, exiting Alpha Missile Room and heading back up the elevator, leaving Blue Brenstar and heading to Bomb Teresa. Some people like to call him Bob Teresa, so when he gets there, we'll all say hi, Bob. Kivnasic's practicing his wall jumps, getting those hands warmed up, and damaging down at Ridley. Papa Schmo doing the pit room and falling into one of the pits on the way out, two of the pits, and then going to head back, I think, and okay, go get an extra energy tank. Normally, you can't reach that energy tank easily unless you have practiced an awful lot, and even then, it's very difficult to get until the planet has woken up, and killing those space pirates there in the pit room wakes the planet up, and now you can see creatures here that weren't there before, and Papa Schmo will be able to damage boost off of this flying crab and grab the energy tank there. Not that much slower than if you were to be perfect and grab it before the planet wakes up. But very respectable to go ahead and grab it now this way. Papa Schmo is now leaving Blue Brenstar a second time as Kivnasic's heads down to the planet right on Papa Schmo's heels. I don't know if Kivnasic's is going to grab the same tank in the same order. Tends to like to take a lot of safeties, especially in an event like this. And I missed the time as well. Chrono, thank you for noting the time in chat, 44:53. Papa Schmo passes through the glass where Mother Brain was defeated in the very first game. And we're about to have a high five as Papa Schmo is heading up climb as Kivnasic's is heading down the climb. Rappelling down without a rappelling wire. Very, very tricky to do. But that's how awesome Samus is. Papa Schmo heading through what is called the parlor. I don't remember why it's called the parlor. Sort of a little sitting room, if you can imagine all these little green chairs. Might sit and have a cup of tea. Kivnasic's heading to those alpha missiles, those very first missiles of the game, at the same time as Papa Schmo is grabbing the bombs. The very first good upgrades of the game, and everyone say hi, Bob. This is Bomb Teresa. The statue is here to protect the planet from would-be intruders and sort of serves as a test of Samus's abilities. And you can have these bombs, but you're going to have to prove yourself first. And Papa Schmo does prove very capable of defeating Bomb Teresa. Kivnasic's heading out through the pit room. We'll see what route Kivnasic's decides to go back and get that taco tank as well. Named so for one of the runners who would pick it up. And Papa Schmo is heading through a room called the Terminator. Picking up the Terminator energy tank, so now 2 energy tanks. And some more space pirates. And sometimes you would hit these space pirates with missiles, which will save some energy, but with 2 energy tanks, plenty of energy. And not heading up the Red Tower later on to Fantoon is another reason for just going ahead and running straight through them. It's a lot easier to do it that way. And here we see Papa Schmo entering what is called green brinstar, and we see these thorny vines, and something about these vines tells us that maybe there's some plant life here. What kind of plant life might there be here? We're not going to find out in this race. Okay, I'll tell you. Spore spawn. We're not going to see spore spawn today. I don't think we will. And Kevnasik's heading out of the pit room. Again, this is the last time I think that we will see the pit room. Maybe. We'll see. There might be another reason to come back through here. I'm not familiar with the routes that these runners take for this category. I have seen Kevnasik's run it a few times, but it's been a while. The Papa Schmo heading to the Decora room, named because there are some ostriches. I think they're ostriches. They sort of look like ostriches, and they can jump really high. And they're right below you, but you can't see them. You can't get through those speed blocks yet without speed booster. And Papa Schmo going for the weave there and hitting one little edge, and then it's going to pick up the spore spawn supers. This is a backdoor into getting those super missiles. This would normally be the first super missiles of the game that you would pick up. But since you already have super missiles, there's a way into the back door. And it involves what Schmo just did. I don't know that I could explain it very well. Someone in chat wants to explain it, then feel free. Meanwhile, Kevnasik's has made quick work of Bomb Terizo and is still right on Papa Schmo's tails. I don't know what the time difference is, whether Kevnasik's is catching up or losing time. Having a little bit of trouble there with Alcatraz escape, with getting it on the third attempt, and then the short hop there across the little pit there to save some extra time. We'll see. Kevnasik's is going to have to pull a lot of tricks in order to catch up with Papa Schmo. Papa Schmo is a very, very good runner at this game. It's not going to be easy to catch up. And now we see the charge beam. Da-da-da-da-da-da! Charge! How do you prevent a bounty hunter from spending too much money? Take away her charge beam. That joke is normally told with elephants, but I don't think there are any elephants in this game. And Papa Schmo heading through the Green Hill Zone and exiting the Green Hill Zone, heading over the new bridge. First test of your ability to use the lowermost button on your controller, and heading up to get heading up Red Tower to go get the Alpha power bombs. This is a little tricky. Normally you would have an ice beam coming through here if you were playing this game for the first time, and having a little bit of trouble. You have to either do what's called a hero shot, or you have to jump up there, shoot the block, and then jump back up there again the second time. Gymnastics has picked up those first supers of the game and the reserve tank there, and is also going to be heading to the Decora room. Meanwhile, Papa Schmo coming through here. We'll see if we can get the damage boost off of the tribbles, cute little tribbles that jump up at you just at the right moment for you to be able to complete this room a lot more quickly. Getting it both the entry and the exit. Kevnasik's catching on that ledge there just a little bit, and also getting the spore spawn super missiles. There'll be 2 super missile packs of 5 each for Kevnasik's. Looks like Papa Schmo is heading to get the beta power bombs. And those would be the second power bombs that you get of the game. If you haven't picked up the pattern yet, it's alpha missiles, beta missiles, alpha power bombs, beta power bombs. And then doing the deboost off of the spikes at the top to exit the room more quickly. I believe the next thing Papa Schmo is going to have to do is either pick up one or both of the ice beam or grapple beam, and I don't know which. It is possible to do this without the grapple beam, but I think both runners are probably going to pick it up. We will see. Great damage boost off of the waivers there, and then going to pick up one of the best beams in the game, the Spazer beam. And Kipnasik's heading through the Green Hill Zone, and see those pipes there. Rumor has it that if you can manage to go through those pipes, you will find yourself in a warp zone, which will take you to the minus level. Not really. And making his way over the new bridge, getting the charge shot, grabbing those supers very quickly, and also heading up Red Tower to pick up the alpha power bombs. Meanwhile, Papa Schmo is heading through the tube there, not breaking the tube yet. There's reason to not break the tube in this category. In a lot of categories like GD Classic, you would want to go ahead and break the tube early because it's going to save a little bit of time. But if you don't break the tube in this category, it can make getting up into Meridia just a little bit easier versus having to jump up through the room and time your jump through the door. Papa Schmo's going to be picking up the high jump boots, which, if you can't guess from the name High Jump Boots, is going to allow Samus to jump high. Kipnasik's also getting those damage boosts off of the triples. And heading up the caterpillar room, past the caterpillars. Those caterpillars look cute, but they will do a lot of damage. Just like real caterpillars. I always thought they looked cute and furry, but don't ever pet a caterpillar. Looks like Papa Schmo is going to be doing a safety save. Might as well, since you're passing by this room anyway, and it's a hint at what's coming next, which is what we call a hell run through this very hot room. 3 very hot rooms. And you can see Samus's energy is draining, so Papa Schmo has to get through this as quickly as possible to avoid having her energy drained completely. Meanwhile, Kipnasik is in a sort of hell of his own. The room that he's farming in is called the Hellway. It is not heated, so he's got plenty of time, but there's a lot of creatures in there that can do a lot of damage. Still hot on Papa Schmo's tails. I don't know what the time difference is between them. One person in chat says that Kipnasik had caught up 18 seconds by charge. I haven't been keeping track. Still have to make up for 3 more minutes past that. Papa Schmo heading through that maze there. I'm not really sure what was going on there when you've got power bombs. Oh, it looks like Papa Schmo is farming health. So normally you'd like just a little bit more health than what Papa Schmo had after coming through the hell run, and this creature here is one of the quickest creatures to farm, and 64 is still a little tight, so we'll see what happens. Grabbing the 20 energy from the waiver there, and then Gotta make it up in time, kill these waivers, and then get up here to it. This is a really good farming spot. 5 creatures come out of that hole there at a time and will allow Papashmo to refill quite a lot of energy. Meanwhile, Kevnasis is going through the power run to pick up the ice beam. So this is a little bit of route divergence. And they will probably come back in a little while. By the time we get to Meridia, we'll know again who's in the lead. But for a little while, we're just not going to know. It's going to be a mystery to us. So that ice beam, we call it ice beam. I like to think of it as freezing enemies. I think of it as a time-space distortion beam. Because if you were to actually freeze the enemies, say with liquid nitrogen, what would happen? They would fall straight to the ground. So what this beam actually does is distort space-time within the vicinity of whatever it lands on, and it slows time down to a crawl, allowing you to stand on whatever has been quote-unquote frozen. So congratulations on picking up your space-time beam and time-space distortion beam, and hopefully we'll see Papashmo pick up the same weapon later on. Papashmo has picked up the speed booster, I believe, and is farming up just a little bit before heading to pick up whatever the next item is. It could be the wave beam. Let's find out. Looks like it's not the... Oh, grabbing the energy off the waver there, and then, yep, heading down to pick up the wave beam. So everybody get your waves ready in chat. This is still dangerous, and we haven't had a save since the speed booster was picked up. We've got to get in, pick up the wave beam, and get out of there before energy runs out. So I'm on the edge of my seat, wanting to know if Papashmo is going to make it out okay. Meanwhile, Kevnasis is heading through the pre-cathedral and cathedral and rising tide rooms, and hopefully we'll have just a little bit more health exiting this room than Papashmo had, which will allow him to catch up a little bit of time, not having to do some of that farming that Papashmo had to do. Papashmo doing a great job of using the high jump boots and the speed booster to get just a little bit more height to get up to that second door, which saves a little bit of time getting out of there. And looks like he's gonna be okay. Wiping the sweat off of my brow. And here we've got another farming spot right before the wave gate. If you were doing a different category where you don't pick up the wave beam, say the Kilcroc RTA, you would have to use a different trick in order to get through that wave gate, known as the gate glitch. But with the wave beam, it just shoots right through walls, it shoots right through gates, and hits whatever's on the other side. And here comes Crocomire. Poor little Crocomire. He's stuck down here. The door was locked. And what happens is this bounty hunter just comes in and just starts shooting up the place. And I would be angry. I would be shooting fireballs, and if somebody were shooting at me, I'd be backing up away from whoever is shooting. But unfortunately, whatever is behind Crocomire is not going to be good for his health. As we will see, there is why he has a pool of acid in his house. I don't know. Maybe he likes to take acid baths, but that's not looking good. That's not looking good. This is not good for Crocomire. I hope he's gonna be okay after this, but I don't think he's gonna be okay. Do you think he's gonna be okay? I don't think he's gonna be okay. I think he's angry. The room is shaking, and the spikes are moving back and forth. And wait, stop! Oh, what is that? Oh, that it's it's the remains. It's the dead remains of Crocomire. Rest in peace, Crocomire. Puppish Mode doing a great little trick there to get across this room more quickly, doing the first spark of the game. It's with this load, it's easy to come into this room and then jump down and then jump back up again, but it's just a little bit faster to spark across. Some other runners would save that spark to be able to spark up through this room. I'm not sure which of those two would save the most time. And Kevnasis is picking up the wave beam and is going to be doing that same escape that Papashmo just did, trying to get out of this room as quickly as possible to avoid certain death from the heated room. And I think he's going to make it. Looks like he's got plenty of energy. I did not see whether Kevnasis has taken any safety saves. So Papashmo has the grapple beam, and that's going to be very, very helpful in Meridia. We will see later why that's going to be helpful. And Papashmo is farming, and Kevnasis is farming. We've got two farms on screen at the same time, and we're about to have. Let's see. We might have a high five here. We might not. Well, let's see. It's going to be tight. Kevnasis is filling up the rest of the energy in the Nutella recharge station. And it looks like, yes, we are going to have a high five. Papashmo is leaving Crocomire's house at the same time as Kevnasis is coming in. Notice that Kevnasis is firing for the charge there, and that is a really, really easy way to defeat Crocomire rather than having to time those missiles just right and hit him in the right spot. Easier just to hit with charge beam, and in order to make it work with the missiles and super missiles, you have to land, I forget how many of them to make it worthwhile. Easier just to use your charge beam there. Looks like Papashmo is going to take another safety save before, I think, going to go get the ice beam. And here we see the bones of Crocomire once again coming through the wall. While Papashmo makes his way up through Business Center, doing a little bit of farming before heading in to go get the ice beam with the speed booster. Makes it easy to get past those columns. No need to do the mock ball. And Kevnasis has opted to not spark across the room to pick up those Crocomire power bombs. And here we go. Now Papashmo has his space-time distortion beam. Kevnasis heading past the sinusoidal room. No need to head in there. You've got a sinusoidal beam. Called the wave beam. And Papashmo drain just a little bit of that. Well, looks like all of the reserve tanks get out of there okay. And that, I believe, is all of the hell runs for Papashmo. So I think everything's gonna be good. Kevnasis is out of Crocomire's house, climbing up there, and I think has gained some time on Papashmo. We will know at how much time as soon as Kevnasis exits Business Center. Well, somebody noted the time there. Papa Schmo is breaking the tube there and then using the charge beam to shoot that door and morphing to avoid hitting and bonking the door and then jumping up and then hitting the fish there with just the right number of charge shots to avoid damaging the fish. So making quick work of Main Street here. So that is why you avoid breaking the tube, because when you have that transition from no water to water, Samus can jump very, very high. It's very, very similar to what the effect that you get when you are doing a gravity jump. But we don't have a gravity suit, so that is the option that we have to take here. So there's not a lot of health in Samus's energy tanks. And as Chad is pointing out, everything in Meridia does do a lot of damage. So this is very, very scary. There's still a lot that can go on, that could go wrong before we can rest easy. And Gymnastics has missed the shot there and bonked the door, so is going to have to resort to a backup strat, which is going to involve freezing this fish and freezing the crab, and then firing a super to cause the crab to fall, and then freezing the crab at just the right point in midair, then jumping on the crab and then on the fish. So the timing on this is very, very difficult to get when you're first learning this, but Gymnastics has practiced this many, many times, so no problem for him getting that backup. Another option, instead of using your charge beam, by the way, is to fire a missile at that door and do it that way. And Gymnastics is trying to freeze these creatures to be able to get just the right amount of jump height to get up here, and is not going to have to do as much farming as Papa Schmo did, so is going to continue to catch up. Papa Schmo is heading here into Aqueduct, and we've got an opportunity to save before Botwoon, so Papa Schmo is going to take that opportunity to save. We'll see a few more safety saves, I think, before this run is over. Probably at least one before Dragon. There's a lot of opportunity to make mistakes there. And what we see here is Papa Schmo is going to swing off of those grapple blocks and morph and unmorph in order to rise high in the air there. That saves a lot of time. The other way to do this is to use the snails and ride the snails up. But with the grapple beam, that's just as quick and just as easy, if not faster, depending on what sort of strategy you use for riding the snails. And Gymnastics is doing sort of the same thing. You see there with those balloons there with, I don't know what they're called, the balloons with eyes, and swinging off of them in order to jump up to the grapple blocks there. You can do this room without grapple, and it's kind of slow because you've got to get those crabs to line up just right and follow two crabs up. And it's very, very tricky. It's a whole lot easier with grapple beam. Papa Schmo is hitting Botwoon with this Ice Wave Spazer combo, which does, I believe, the same amount of damage as... Is that the same amount of damage as the super? I forget. It's going to not be very many shots, hopefully. But it's going to be a little bit slower of a fight than if he had opted to use the supers. But standing in the corner here, once Botwoon has stopped firing the green acid at you, is the safest place in the room to be. So it is a little bit of a safer strategy. than trying to get all 10 supers in and do a 1 round. We'll see what Cavnasix will do. There was an opportunity here for Cavnasix to catch up. You'll see Cavnasix is flipping through there using the Mock Droid to flip through the block. And Papa Mo is trying to do these really tight jumps to get through this room after Bot Woon. And it can be kind of tough. Notice each of these little jumps is taking more than one attempt. It's not as easy as Papa Mo is making it look. Cavnasix is also using the charge combo here to defeat Bot Woon. When you don't have the gravity suit in this room, you move a little bit more slowly. So if Bot Woon happens to come a direction you're not anticipating, it's not as easy for Samus to get out of the way. And Papa Mo is going to be using the grapple beam here to get through the Coliseum. And there are a few little sections here. We've got to jump over these barriers. So one barrier and then two barriers. And then we've got another one. We're going to see a damage boost off these spikes. No, not a damage boost, using the spikes as a platform to jump off of. And then the final barrier there. And then the save room up there at the top before Dragon. Very wise safety save to take. Now we've got the Mock Droid elevator here, and then using the grapple beam once Samus is out of the water to get the rest of the way up. And NASA is going to be heading through the Coliseum. Nice little mock ball there, and then missing the jump up to just a little bit, still making it past the barrier just fine. And it looked like he was heading for the spikes to try and do a damage boost, but ended up using the grapple block and using the spikes there as a platform, and then jumping down and then grabbing that last grapple block, and looks like he's good. Notice Papa Mo is damaging down to 29 health. And the reason he's doing that is he's going to do a Crystal Flash as Dragon grabs Samus right at the end of the fight here. And what that's going to do is it's going to activate a glitch in the game that is going to allow Samus to get what we call a flash suit. It'll give you one charged suit worth of Shine Spark to be able to either exit this room and then do don't have X-ray suit, so it's neither runner has X-ray. So one option is if you had X-ray, you could do an X-ray climb out, and that's slower. So I believe what they're going to do is use the grapple beam like you've been seeing to escape out, and then spark out of the following room. And without that, I don't know that with this set of items if it is even possible to escape without doing that. And we see Cavnasix is doing that Crystal Flash to get grabbed, and hopefully that means that they both have their suits. Still have to do the grab onto the electrical outlet there with the grapple beam to defeat Dragon. With this amount of ammo, that's certainly a whole lot easier than doing an ammo kill. And missing the electrical outlet on the second attempt. And Cavnasix's head is pointed, notice, to the left or pointed to the right instead of to the left. It's going to be a little bit harder for Cavnasix to grab those two. And it looks like, oh no. F's in chat, Cavnasix had a death. So that's going to put Cavnasix a little bit behind. We have two deaths, and they're right back to back. So that actually puts Kevnastic's in the lead. Papa Schmo, I think, was going to be in the lead by the end of that fight, but now it is very tight. We've got a lead change now. It would have been, in this situation, more advantageous to have been able to take that death sooner for Papa Schmo. And the other advantage that Kevnastic's has is more just a little bit of extra energy, so not having to worry about these turrets as much from the get-go. We're going to see the same thing as we saw before. Oh, a chat is letting me know that Papa Schmo was soft lock, so I guess the death was intentional. So we see Kevnastic's doing the Crystal Flash to get grabbed here, and Papa Schmo is doing the Crystal Flash and is about to get grabbed. They both have their suits. Kevnastic's is trying to haunt the beast into grabbing him and going for that right side quick kill. That's, as I said, a lot more difficult than doing it on the left side. And we'll see here in a moment how they escape using the grapple beam. Papa Schmo is also getting that left side quick kill. So this is a much cleaner fight for both runners than what we saw the first time. Kevnastic's picking up the space jump, going to be quite advantageous. And Papa Schmo doing the same. You can see those echoes there behind Samus. Nice little effect. What Kevnastic is trying to do is grab onto this electrical outlet. Don't try this at home, kids. And jump up and morph and unmorph like you saw in the Coliseum to escape the room. And hopefully Papa Schmo is going to do the same thing with a little bit less energy. It's a little bit more dangerous because Papa Schmo has fewer attempts. So missed the first attempt, going to have to drain some of the reserves in order to get a second attempt. Don't know if it's going to be possible to have a third attempt. And you see Kevnastic's using that space jump to get past the Coliseum, and fortunately it looks like Papa Schmo has made it on the second attempt. So with 63 health, this is still quite dangerous. I won't be surprised to see if Papa Schmo takes a safety save at the top, but if Papa Schmo is watching the stream, might know that he's just a little bit behind, so might take the risk and just go straight across. So we will see. I don't know what's going to happen. Kevnastic's heading through this frozen room here over toward what we affectionately call the toilet. And Papa Schmo has taken this refill. I don't know if this refill station has a name. I've heard it called the new Sloters refill, since we have seen Sloters use that refill station in a race before. I don't know if it has another name. And also using the space jump to get across. So it looks like runners now have quite a bit of leeway in terms of health, which is a good thing. And Kevnastic's heading over to go get the plasma beam, which is I don't want to say the most powerful weapon in the game, because each of the beams has a different ability, and of course Screw Attack can do more damage than any of the beams. And then of course Grapple Beam can one-shot kill quite a lot of creatures. So some people will say the Grapple Beam is the most powerful weapon in the game. And then some people will say that it's X-Ray because of all the tricks that you can do with X-Ray, that it doesn't matter what you can kill if you can just avoid entire areas of the game altogether, then that is a lot of power. And Kevnastic's is heading down to the Forgotten Highway. I completely forgot about this. Schmo right behind, heading to the Forgotten Highway. There are two ways through this room. One is at the top, and one is at the bottom, but without the gravity suit, the bottom route is going to be easier, but slower, and then also not allow Nastics to farm. So the next boss that we will see both runners attempting is Phantoon, the elephant space ghost, coast to coast. And it's a little mysterious of a creature. We don't know why Phantoon is there in the wrecked ship, this eerie ship. And it seems to be guarded by a spirit, which we call Phantoon. And it fades into our reality, and then it will fade out of our reality. I'm not really sure if we can call it dead, if it's a ghost and was not really alive to begin with. But it will be defeated by the end in just a few moments. This lovely ocean view here. If you are looking for a rental property, or if you are looking to buy, I can offer you a really good price. And if you believe that, I also have a bridge to sell you. It's located in Brooklyn, New York. These spikes are not on. Phantoon has not been defeated yet, so that room is not nearly as scary as it otherwise would be. If you watch a lot of randomizers, you'll see runners coming through there with a similar loadout, but heading the opposite direction after defeating Phantoon, and it can be quite scary. So runners would tend to take a safety save. But with the spikes being off, and the save room, of course, being on the opposite end of the hallway, we don't see the runners doing that. Instead, we see the runners coming in here to Phantoon. We see this burning ring of fire, and the flames, they're going to get higher as Phantoon waves and fades into existence. And the question is it going to be a fast or a slow or a mid? And that's always the question that we ask. Is there are 3 different main patterns, 6 if you multiply by being left to right, and then a handful of patterns that are a little more rare on top of that. And each of those patterns is classified as either being fast or slow or somewhere in the middle. The Goldilocks patterns. The Goldilocks pattern, I think, would be the fast one. According to most runners, that would be the one that's just right. And we see Phantoon being defeated, turning red, with anger at being defeated so easily by Nastics and exploding in a fit of fury and then fading out of existence. We're not sure where he came from, and we're not sure where he's gone to. Looks like Papa Shimo is trying to get the speedball through the block and not quite building up that speed to get it. So resorting to bombing through the block instead. We have Nastics meanwhile heading up through the main shaft here, down from the basement up to the attic. And then we'll be heading over to pick up the gravity suit. But before Nastics can get the gravity suit, he has to make his way through the attic, and we see this beautiful spark here across to defeat these last 2 creatures in the room. And with this many energy tanks, no need to grab any of those health capsules. Instead, mockball down through this west ocean, and then over to what we call bowling here in just a moment. I don't know if this is a chorizo or a chozo. Chorizos, of course, are the guardians of the planet and are notable for being able to move, whereas the chozo statues do not move. And this statue, of course, does move, which would indicate that it's perhaps a chorizo, but it doesn't fire anything at you, which might indicate that perhaps it's a chozo statue. I don't know which one it is, and I don't know if it has a name, but since this is bowling, I like to call this statue Bo. Perhaps you know somebody named Bo, or perhaps you've seen a sports figure named Bo, or perhaps you've seen an actor named Bo. Perhaps that actor has a last name Bridges. And Kevnastix is picking up the gravity suit, giving Samus this lovely shade of purple. And I don't know why we call it a gravity suit, so I would think that a gravity suit would give you abilities and powers out of the water and allow you to float perhaps in the air and defy gravity, but no, that's what the space jump is for. So I like to call this the viscosity suit because it seems to change the viscosity of whatever liquid is in the vicinity of Samus. And air is already pretty unviscous, so it doesn't seem to have much of an effect in the air, but it has a lot of an effect in the water. But it's going to allow Samus to move a lot more quickly through the water. That would have been very helpful in Meridia, but it's impossible in this category to pick up the gravity suit prior to Meridia because it's not even there until you defeat Phantoon, but you have to defeat Dragon before you can defeat Phantoon in DPRK. Kevnastix heading down through Red Tower. I believe this will be the last time that we see Kevnastix in Red Tower. And heading down to Lower Norfair to fight the Space Pelican that we saw earlier in the game that kidnapped baby Metroid. Meanwhile, Papa Schmo has made his way through bowling and is going to also be picking up the viscosity suit. And Kevnastix heading down into the business center, very first room in Norfair. The first time these runners came into Norfair, they had to take a different route than what we're going to see on the screen. Now that they have the speed booster, they don't have to worry about the hell runs, which the gravity suit would be protecting them from anyway. They can just come through the Frog Speedway here, where we see those creatures that some people call frogs, and just run right past them. No reason to stop. But we are going to see a short pause here in the lava dive room. And with the gravity suit, we're not going to see a traditional lava dive. Instead, we're going to just see the runners use the combination of the gravity suit and the space jump to get through this room the intended way. We have Kevnastix going right past that save room. No reason to take a safety save. He has a lead, and it's a comfortable lead, but it's not an insurmountable lead. And we see Kevnastix is opting to not use the speed booster there to break through these blocks and is instead opting to destroy the blocks with power bombs. It's a very small difference in speed between those, and is going to kill all but one of these space pirates before jumping up. This is not necessarily the fastest way through the room, but it's fast enough. And doing that morph ball over the head of that one space pirate who just doesn't even know what happened. Probably never seen anything like that before in his life. And since the planet will be exploding in just a few minutes, is not going to have the opportunity to see anything like that ever again. If you get a job offer to become a space pirate, I would recommend that you make sure that you are not stationed on a planet where Samus Aran is going to be coming. That's my advice to you. You can take it or leave it. Nasus is going to be heading down here, is choosing not to take the extra damage to go through the platforms, and is instead riding them down as if they were an elevator, and then using the speed echoes to destroy these metal pirates, sort of like the Flash would. The DC Comics character also has speed echoes that can do similar things. They are echoes of Flash's own self that are short-lived. And Samus, with that speed booster, can do the same thing. Nasus has a full beam combo here, so this is going to be 20 shots. It should be a very quick fight, and is opting to use some of the super missiles. Oftentimes, if you're running, say, KPDR, you might come here and want to save some of those supers for Turian, but since there is one more boss that runners are going to be seeing, and the mini Kraid prior to Kraid drops some supers, not necessary to be nearly as stingy with those super missiles. And as predicted, Nasus has made quick work of the Space Pelican, and we see Nasus heading out of the Space Pelican's house, and all of his bird statues. Notice those cute little bird statues glowing fiery red in the background, and the space pirates with their television sets. They can tune into Speedrunner's Arena on their television sets. They can tune into Kevnastics. They can tune into Papa Schmo, or any of the other runners that you may enjoy watching on Twitch, assuming they get good Wi-Fi signal down here, which they might not. Nasus is opting to use that power bomb here to blow up all three of those blocks at once, and is going to try to be very careful. These flying creatures here do quite a bit of damage, and unlike the GT Classic category, no screw attack to protect him, but Nasus does have charge beam, so you notice Nasus using what is called pseudo screw, where you do a spin jump at the same time that you have the weapon charged, and that behaves very similar to screw attack and gives Samus just a little bit of extra protection. The other thing you'll notice Samus doing, Nasus doing on the screen on the right, is firing that plasma beam as he's walking through the Fireflies, not the Fireflies, the Three Musketeers, and that allows him to get through without taking any damage because of iframes. And we see Papa Schmo has defeated the Space Pelican and is going to be exiting Lower Norfair as well. And also getting that damage boost off of I think that's a Viola, is that correct? And saying goodbye to the Metal Pirates. If I were going to be a space pirate, I kind of would want to be a metal pirate because they sound cool and they probably play good music. But I would not want to be in Samus's world. And now we see Kevnasix going through the mouth of the statue to trade. And little trivia question: how many large statues with mouths do you see in this game? Feel free to put your answer in chat. I believe the answer is open for interpretation, but there are a few large statues with mouths. And we see Kevnasix morphing here to avoid some of the lag, and then gonna get the quick kill. Got the quick kill, so we will not be seeing Kevnasix take Kraid to the prom. Instead, we will see Kevnasix heading straight in to pick up the Varia suit. And Opshmo opting to use the charged plasma combo there on the Three Musketeers, not wanting to take any damage from them. I don't blame, since there's not really a whole lot of room. I think it would be at 2 hits to death if I'm counting correctly. And that is all of the main bosses for Kevnasix. He's going to be heading to G4, the Golden 4 statue. We'll see what route he takes to get there. Probably the standard route up here through Meridia, and much faster than the first trip through Meridia, both because of the shorter distance and because of the gravity suit and the space jump. And instead of sparking up, is opting to use the space jump to jump up. And saying hi to the fish a couple times. And going for this mock ball here through the tunnel exiting Meridia and getting it. Opshmo trying to aim and get Samus right in the slot there. Just missing it and having to take 1 hit from the flying critters. And is also going to be saying hello to Kraid. We will see what happens here. Hopefully Papa Shmo will be getting the Kraid quick kill just the same as Kevnasix did. If not, we will get to see what a prom looks like. And Kevnasix using a bomb here. There are a few other options to get through those blocks. And speeding his way through the Terminator there for the last time. Making quick work of these green space pirates. And looks like no prom for Papa Shmo as well. Also heading in to get the Varia suit. And we'll be joining Kevnasix at G4 momentarily, but we will not see both G4s on screen at the same time. See this green light going out, and then we see the yellow light going out. And then we're going to see the blue light going out, and finally we will see the red light going out. And this is the intended order of defeating the bosses. Kraid, and Dragon, and then Ridley. But these runners have done it in a different order. And that is the last we are going to see of those bosses. Papa Shmo trying to quickly catch up with Kevnasix. I don't know how far behind he is, or whether we will still get to see two Mother Brains on screen at the same time. I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to happen, and also crossing my fingers that nothing tragic is going to happen for either runner. Notice Papa Schmo's doing this little jump through the door there, and then followed by a big long jump up, which is quite a bit faster than having to stop. Gymnastics is using some farm strats to get a little bit of extra ammo out of these Metroids, and laying a bomb to get them off of his back, freezing them, and then shooting them with super. So Metroid rooms 1, 2, and finally 3. And that's all of the Metroid rooms for gymnastics, except for the baby. And hopefully gymnastics is going to be able to get the baby skip. We'll see. Made sure to take care of the dusty bat at the top of the room so he doesn't hit that by accident. He's going to run under the baby Metroid, jump up, and then they're going to dance. We do get to see a dance after all, even though we didn't see a dance with Kraid. And this is a very, very tricky dance. You have to time it just right to avoid getting caught. And morphing up, getting over, and looks like he's made it through just fine. Meanwhile, Papa Schmo has come through the corridor into G4. And gymnastics is now in Mother Brain's room. I'm going to freeze this Rinka here and try to jump up through the Zebetite column, and that causes the rest of the Zebetite columns to just not be there, which is going to save quite a bit of time, but more importantly, quite a bit of ammunition. Very important ammunition because you need it in order to get past what we call MB1, which, when Mother Brain has the glass, can only be defeated by missiles and super missiles. Now we get to see MB2 to rise from the ashes. Without her glass bowl, she is susceptible to this charge beam combo. And it's the same number of shots as Ridley, 20 shots with this combination. And gymnastics is going to try to avoid getting hit by the ketchup there, and the French fries, and the onion rings, and the hamburgers. And is done a great job of this so far. Has done the bomb jump there to stay in the air. I don't know if that means he's going to be attempting the stand-up glitch, or I didn't think you could with this amount of health, but maybe he was just doing that to show off. So here's the baby Metroid again, the same baby Metroid we saw at the beginning of the game, who was kidnapped and is rescuing Samus from Mother Brain very angrily. If Shakespeare had been alive, this is the sort of story you might have imagined Shakespeare writing in the 20th century. Very tragic story of mother and daughter, and mother saving daughter, and then daughter coming back to save mother. Those onion rings are doing quite a bit of damage to the baby Metroid. You can see the color changing little by little until very last death of the baby Metroid. And Samus is now very, very, very cross with Mother Brain, and has absorbed all of Mother Brain's energy. All that rainbow beam we saw earlier from Mother Brain is now being channeled into Samus's gun and shot into Mother Brain's head, and she's deserving every single one of those shots because she was very, very mean, Mother Brain, and is now going down for the count, and will be staying here as the planet explodes, but Samus is going to get out. The question is Samus going to say goodbye to the animals one last time? Gonna just go right by and say, y'all are on your own. Papa Schmo has finally made it to Mother Brain right as Evnastis has escaped. We didn't quite get to see both on screen at the same time. We almost did, just a few seconds shy. So Evnastis will probably be the first runner to the end. And it will not be a PB run, but this is still a very respectable time for this category. And notice sparking up through the climb room. This is much faster than just climbing up, and clipping through one of those blocks at the bottom. And is heading up through Parlor as the planet is exploding and the steam is coming up through the geothermal vents, and making his way back to the ship. And it looks like Evnastis has finished in first place with a time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 11 seconds. Congratulations, Kevnastis. You have completed DPRK in a Staggered Mayhem showcase. Yeah, let's do some interviews. Hopefully I'll be able to hear when we come into the channel. If I'll let you know when I hear you. The last time I tried to do an interview, I couldn't hear. So I'm fingers crossed. Hopefully I fixed the problem that I had last time. Meanwhile, while we're waiting on Kevnastis to join the green room, we got Papa Schmo at Mother Brain, and looks like going to be getting through there just fine. I think I saw Kevnastis join the green room. I don't hear your voice yet. Go. Do we have you on, Kevnastis?
The out. What's happening, brother?
Good things are up. Congratulations.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with the one, but I blew a 104 by dying a drink, and I pretty much crushed the rest of the run. So I feel incredibly happy, but at the same time, like, it's so hard to get such a good run like that, and I rarely ever die at Dragon, so I was a little frustrated. But instead of getting tilted, I just decided to crush the game, and I didn't watch the restream just because I had just so much going on in my house. My kids are running around making noise. My wife just got in from out of town, and I'm trying to play this game. It was quite an exciting morning. You there? Huh. What happened? See out. You there, dude? I can't hear anything. Let me, all right, let me try hanging up and coming back in, maybe. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Jeez, wow. Unbelievable. Usually don't have this kind of problems getting in this room.
My web browser crashed. Had to bring it back up.
Oh. I was just going to say it was a wildly busy morning. I mean, I'm really happy with everything in the run except that dragon death, which was very unexpected and pretty frustrating. But like, I blew a 104 on that. I was on a 104
Okay.
page, which would have been a massive PB.
Yeah, I would have PB too if I had.
That dragon death is when you pulled ahead, since you died.
I was just going to say it was a wildly
did.
busy morning. I mean, I'm really happy with
Pops, where'd
everything
you
in
die?
the run except that dragon
I
death,
died
which
on
was
Dragon as
very
well.
unexpected and pretty frustrating. But
I don't know exactly what happened. I think I lost my flash suit. But Dragon just I didn't get the goop patterns and I got hit by multiple ones. So he grabbed me a bunch of times and got a spank in each time. So by the third spank, I wouldn't have had enough health to make it out anyway. And so I just kind of did a reset and tried again. But yeah, it was about the same spot.
yeah, I was about the same kind of situation, except what happened is I got right side goop, which I prefer. And I got the flash suit. I'm sorry, I got the, I set off my suit and Dragon grabbed me and I missed the quick grapple. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess let's, rely on RNG. Maybe I won't get any spanks. And then he just spanked the crap out of me. And I didn't wiggle out because once you get that spike suit, Dre doesn't pick you up again. And I'm like, well, an ammo kill will probably wind up being way slower than just letting Dragon kill me and then doing the fight over again. But I was minus 2 minutes ahead of my averages, which would have put me at a 104, pretty much once all said and done. So, but I played the rest of the run like a freaking warrior. Like I actually played very, very well. I was surprised.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, I didn't play the whole run well, but I am pretty proud of. I know you've been practicing this. I haven't done this in a while because I've been doing smrat practice with Cabby for the Multi-Troy tournament. So considering that, I'm happy with my performance. I got a lot of cool stuff. Other than the death, I had the race mentality on and had to save myself from death a bunch of different times. But I got it through, so I'm proud of that.
Nice. What was your final time?
1:10:28, which if you take away the Dragon death, that's a PB.
Oh yes, I mean, yeah, same here. I missed a PB by less than a minute with that death. So that goes to show you just like how good the entire rest of the run was. Like I got baby skip. I had probably the best Ridley fight I've ever had in this category. My lower North Air escape was kind of weak, but like I nailed all the hell runs like well. I didn't have to do any extra farming. I got through Rising Tide pretty easy. I got through Batcave pretty easy. I had an extra pause because I forgot to take off ice, but I got through the Batcave easy. The Wave Hell Run, I looked like a damn pro. Croc gave me the best RNG I swear I've ever had. Like I'm sitting there going through this whole run, and I missed the quick entry into Meridia. So really, for me, the only areas I really blew were the quick entry to Meridia and Dragon, and I can't, I guess you can't complain,
Yeah, you must have caught up quick, because all those things you just mentioned, I fumbled my way through, and Croc's RG was crap for me, dude. It's just giving me crap the whole time. But that's cool, man. I'm glad you were in the flow. I got to get back to it for sure.
Yeah, and the relay practices have been worth it. I've been like churning out 106s. I've gotten about maybe 9 to 10 106s in the last 2 weeks.
Yep. Hell yeah, man.
So
heck yeah, boy.
Yeah, see out. How was it from the viewer's edge? I hope it we managed to bring some excitement into the match.
It looked like a good match. It was a good show. Lots of cool little tricks that this category has. Both of you played very well, even taking the deaths into account, and that made it really exciting because it was neck and neck from that point out for a little while.
Nice.
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'll be I'll definitely be excited to watch it back and see how that goes. And by the way, this was a really good one for anybody who's just kind of kicking around. One of the reasons I wanted to do North Korea, and I'm glad Pops and I got a chance to race, is because we're both running North Korea % in the community relay, which will be on, I believe it's on the 28th. On Sunday. It starts about 12:45 p.m. with GT Classic. And then there's going to be Hundo, Any %, Item Rando, Low %, North Korea %, RG4, which is formerly known as RBO, and Nintendo Power %. And that's kind of rolling it in a row. And both Pops and I are on relay teams. And by the way, Pops, they have teams up now.
So I haven't looked at it yet, but that's cool.
You want to know who you're on a team with?
I can look. Here we go. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm on a team with.
Okay, I got Kip. Got Kip.
I'm a little jealous, but
you got floaters. You got
Bressingham, Freyas. No, I don't have floaters. Oh, who has?
Oh wait, sorry, no.
You're gonna.
Professor's got floaters. Yeah.
I mean, I got some killers. I got Diddy, P-Toil, Gebu, Beeps, Just Defend, Bressingham, and Freyas. So we're gonna be looking really sharp. But oh man, Team 2 has a lineup. Wow, these teams are stacked. So anybody that wants to see a lot of Super Metroid, we're talking like 12 hours of Super Metroid. Come on in, watch Pops and I help our team out in North Korea %. This was a really good preview of our potential and our abilities. So, no joke. And I want to thank C Out and WJG and the whole crew at Speedrunners Arena for always putting this on, regardless of who shows up to play. I really love doing these things, and I really appreciate the commentary, the restream, and Pops, it was really good to race you again and beat you this time. So I don't know if I beat you the last time we raced. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that was a hundo, but I had an outdated PB, so I had a little bit of an advantage. But yeah, I second all of that, and just say thank you to everybody. You want some more SRA goodness? We got a 9:30 race tonight with some Multitroid Smrat match going on. We got the Taco Tank Dodgers versus Rando Calrissian. If you've never seen Multitroid, or you just you like Smrat, come check it out, man. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah,
it sounds like a very exciting race. As does the relay next Sunday, starting at noon Eastern time, right?
Yeah, about 12:45.
Yeah, it says 12:45, and I'm not sure what channel it's going to be restreamed on. I'm sure it's going to be one of the speed gaming channels. I know that we're just putting commentary together.
Yeah, if you want to do comms for it, there's a sign-up sheet. They're in a couple different. The Super Metroid Speedrunning Discord has a link to that, as well as some other Discords. If you want to do comms, we need comms. Hop on in.
They're always short on people who do commentary for this particular event.
For sure.
And by the way, if you don't know anything at all about Super Metroid, there's this thing in commentary called the Useful Idiot, and I don't mean to call you an idiot, but somebody who has no idea what's going on, because a lot of us that live and breathe this game, sometimes we take for granted some of the more impressive tech, and we kind of sometimes maybe even forget to point out what the casual viewer would not know, because we take it for granted, and some of it's second nature for us. So even if you don't know anything about, what's going on, I mean, shoot, jump in, give a little bit of color there, and talk to the other commentator, and just call the action and have fun. I don't know, it's worth it.
Yeah.
But if there's not anything else to say, then thank both of you for running. Congratulations to Cavnastics for taking first place, and congratulations to Papa Schmo for taking second place. Both of you put on a very good show. And with that, we will see you
I have
next
one
mission.
question.
You do have one more
Yeah.
comment. Sorry, I didn't.
Not even a comment, a question, because I haven't watched. Usually I have the restream up when I play, and I just couldn't put it all together in time this morning. Did you mention about the black hole time displacement beam? Did we have a lot of discussion about that? Because we use that quite often in this run. No, that's great. I love your comms. I can't wait to watch it back.
Thank you very much.
All right, y'all. I'll see you next mission. And Pops, thanks again, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
See you next mission.
Good one.